Leaders from major Chinese and American firms gathered in Washington this week as representatives from both sides voiced cautious optimism about improving economic relations between the world's two largest economies. The delegation was led by Ren Hongbin, President of China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, now one of Beijing's top trade officials, and included executives from roughly 50 Chinese companies. Ren Hongbin, born in July 1966, has served as President and Party Committee Secretary of CCPIT since January 2022, and also presides over the China Chamber of International Commerce. His past roles include senior posts within China's Ministry of Commerce and a stint as Vice Minister of Commerce. In the current delegation, he brought together around 50 companies in organizing of this delegation, as he said, reflecting what he characterized as strong interest from the Chinese communities, and noting that today I have seen also the interest from the US companies. This meeting comes after a period of strained trade relations between Beijing and Washington, which had seen tariffs, export restrictions, and political tensions affecting cross-border commerce. But in recent months, many business observers sense a softening, and the delegation's visit is being interpreted as a practical expression of that shift. Ren acknowledged that we have undergone ups and downs in the bilateral relations, but emphasized that one constant remains: the friendship between the two peoples and the strong interest to cooperate. On the US side, voices of industry urged a renewed look at China's evolving economic and technological landscape. US-China Business Council President Stein said the Washington meetings offer US companies a chance to learn more about doing business in China. He added that some companies have not yet fully appreciated how much China has transformed over the last half-decade, how much farther along China is in its ability to do research and development, its technological progress, etc. And so I think an appreciation of what China has accomplished and a better sense of its direction of travel is something that's really needed. Representing manufacturing interests, Corning the US. Glass and material science company known for making screens for iPhones and Apple Watches was represented by its Chief Strategy and Development Officer, Jang. He said the improving bilateral climate was welcome. We have been innovating for 170 years. For us to continue to do so, we wanted to see that the two largest economies of the world have a working relationship that's constructive, and this is exactly what we're seeing. That's starting to happen, he said. Corning's participation will include joining the upcoming China International Supply Chain Expo, CCPIT, in Beijing next June, a move that underlines their commitment to global supply chain integration and signals confidence in a stabilizing US-China trade environment. Behind the public statements lies a deeper strategic agenda. The delegation uses this opportunity not merely to mend old rifts, but to lay the groundwork for future collaboration, especially in areas such as advanced manufacturing, materials science, supply chain integration, and technology development. One recent example, in early December 2025, CCPIT under Ren led a seminar in the United States with members of the Semiconductor Industry Association, representatives from major US cappers. Firms including Qualcomm, Global Foundries, On Semiconductor, Synopsys, Nokia, and Emerson Electric joined the talks. Ren and SIA President and CEO John Neiffer discussed promoting US-China cooperation in the semiconductor field and stressed the need to maintain stability and smooth functioning in global industrial and supply chains. This outreach reflects China's ambition to secure supply chain resilience while offering US firms a clearer sense of long-term regulatory and commercial conditions. From the perspectives of executives on both sides, the key takeaway isn't just a thaw in rhetoric, it is a realignment of expectations. For US firms, participation reinforced a re-evaluation of China, not as a geopolitical adversary, but as a complex, evolving partner with growing capabilities in R&D, manufacturing, and supply chain logistics. For Chinese firms and policymakers, the delegation serves to demonstrate to Washington that Chinese enterprises remain open, engaged, and committed to transparent collaboration. As Jang put it, their decision to join next June's CCPIT signals where they believe global trade is heading. For our innovation to work, we really needed to there's a very sophisticated supply chain that can support our customer and also support our manufacturing operations. With China set to host the 2026 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, and with the prospect of reciprocal state visits, many business leaders are hopeful that the improvement in economic ties will outlast short-term fluctuations. In the near term, expect more joint US-China business dialogues, trade and investment delegations, and perhaps collaborations in sectors ranging from semiconductors and materials science to green manufacturing and supply chain resilience. At the same time, even as business-to-business contacts increase, deeper questions remain about regulatory fairness, intellectual property, export controls, and the geopolitical dimension of technology competition. Success for this new wave of engagement will depend on whether both governments and their private sectors can translate goodwill into concrete, sustainable policies and partnerships. In sum, Chinese and American business leaders have quietly begun stitching together commercial ties that weathered rough geopolitical winds, not with fanfare, but with purposeful, pragmatic engagement. The delegation led by Ren Hongbin signals Beijing's willingness to reopen doors. And the participation from firms like Corning and voices like Stein suggests that many in American industry are ready, perhaps finally, to walk through them again. Despite lingering strategic distrust between Beijing and Washington, the tone of the latest business-to-business engagement suggests that both sides still see enormous value in stable economic ties. For companies navigating global markets, predictability matters as much as policy, and the participants at the Washington meetings repeatedly emphasized that commercial cooperation remains possible even when political tensions rise. As supply chains grow more sophisticated and technology races accelerate, neither economy can afford disruptions that weaken innovation or competitiveness. Looking ahead, the success of this renewed dialogue will depend on whether constructive sentiment can be translated into consistent, long-term frameworks that benefit companies on both sides of the Pacific. With China preparing to host APEC in 2026 and discussions underway about potential reciprocal state visits, there is cautious optimism that economic relations may continue on a steadier path. For now, business leaders, Chinese and American alike, are signaling the same message. Engagement, not isolation, is the only viable foundation for sustainable growth in the years ahead. Ultimately, the renewed engagement between Chinese and American business leaders reflects a growing recognition that neither nation can navigate an increasingly complex global economy alone. The Washington meeting served as a reminder that while political cycles may shift and strategic tensions may flare, the fundamental need for cooperation remains unchanged. As both sides cautiously rebuild trust, the path forward will depend on sustained dialogue, shared economic interests, and a willingness to prioritize long-term stability over short-term disputes.